What if everything you were taught about art was wrong? What if perspective was a lie? What if realism was never the goal? Why did artists suddenly stop trying to paint reality after doing it for 400 years? And most importantly, who gave them the right to break the rules of art forever? This is not just a story about a style. This is the story of how art stopped copying the world and started questioning it. For centuries, Western art followed a single mission: to recreate the visible world as accurately as possible. From the Renaissance onward, artists mastered perspective, anatomy, and depth. A painting was meant to be a window into reality. But by the early 20th century, that world was collapsing. Cameras could freeze time. Films could capture movement. Machines reshaped cities. Reality no longer felt stable. And if reality itself was changing, then art had to change with it. The first challenge to classical art did not come from rebellion, but from observation. Paul Cézanne believed nature was not chaos. He reduced the world into geometry: cylinders, spheres, cones. Cézanne wasn't interested in illusion. He wanted structure. At the same time, African and Iberian sculptures entered European museums. These artworks ignored realism completely. Faces became masks. Bodies became symbols. To young artists in Paris, this was not primitive. It was freedom. One artist absorbed all of this more deeply than anyone else: Pablo Picasso. Picasso refused comfort. He painted sorrow in blue, warmth in rose. But in 1907, something changed. He painted 5 women: sharp, fragmented, confrontational. Les Demoiselles d'Avignon. There was no perspective, no depth, no apology. Friends who saw it were disturbed. Picasso had not improved art. He had attacked it. Picasso did not work alone. He found an equal mind in Georges Braque. Together, they dismantled reality. A violin was no longer one object. It became many views at once: front, side, memory, and imagination, all on the same surface. This became analytic cubism. Color faded. Forms shattered. The viewer was forced to assemble meaning. Art was no longer passive. It demanded thought. By 1912, Cubism evolved again. Picasso and Braque introduced newspaper, paper, wood, grain. This was synthetic Cubism. Reality itself entered the artwork. Art was no longer pretending to be a window. It became an object, just as real as the world around it. And then, the world went to war. For years, critics asked, can abstract art express real emotion? Can broken forms carry truth? Or was Cubism just intellectual chaos? Picasso answered in 1937 with a single painting: Guernica, painted in black, white, and gray. Guernica shows suffering without beauty. A mother screaming. A dead child. A wounded horse. There is no hero. No victory. Cubism proved something undeniable. Art did not need realism to tell the truth. By breaking reality, it revealed something deeper than appearances. A pain, fear, memory. Cubism did not destroy art. It destroyed limitation. It freed artists from copying the world and allowed them to interpret it. Every modern movement that followed stands on this fracture. Once art learned to break reality, it was never the same again. Cubism was not about cubes. It was about seeing. And once the rules were broken, art finally became free. If this story changed the way you see art, stay here. Subscribe to Crossroads of Art for cinematic journeys through the moments that reshaped creativity.